Namaskar friends, this is NJ, host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on an entirely new concept and a standalone topic which is going to be on understanding the soul lessons and the karmic axis as represented by the nodes or as represented by Rahu and Ketu. Friends, as you know this thing that when we talk about the aspect or the astral aspect which is deeply intricated or connected with our soul, so that is none other than amongst all these 9 planets is the Rahu and Ketu. Our birth takes place only because of the pending karma which we need to face in this lifetime. Our soul needs to learn lesson. It has to strive to attain perfection, which is the reason for which we are born, and that can fairly be decoded with the alignment and the dignity and the axis of Rahu and Ketu in our charts. So you could also understood in it in a very simple language that just the mere placement of Rahu and Ketu in your chart just tells about that in which area of your life you have to go through all sort of inner psychological subconscious level struggle. The battle of the good, the divine forces and the demonic forces is going to take place on which plane, that you get to know by the placement or by the axis of Rahu and Ketu in your chart. If you narrow it down to the zodiac sign, so definitely that is going to give a breeding ground or a functioning ground to the nodes. That is going to give us this idea that in order to do their job, Rahu and Ketu, how much in a strengthened state they are, or are they placed in a weak or in a afflicted state, making you work harder in this lifetime to learn the lesson. And if you take it down or this axis of Rahu and Ketu, you will narrow it down even to the nakshatra. So that is going to give you this idea about the kind of gifts, about the kind of blessings, about the kind of curses or all kind of obstacles or the karmic lessons which these nodes are going to make you learn or going to make your soul learn in this lifetime. So friends, now the new pattern which I have recently started on my channel is that rather than just doing one topic or covering one placement at one time and extending or postponing the whole concept for months or weeks of time, these days I'm trying to make long video, but I'm trying to wrap up one concept in one video itself. So in this video we will try to understand all the axis placement of Rahu and Ketu in a chart and what kind of lessons it is going to encourage us or is trying to teach us in this lifetime. And friends, before we will start our discussion, let's just first try to understand little bit about Rahu and Ketu. So as you know this thing that Rahu and Ketu are the imaginary points in our chart. Their calculations are done on the basis of where moon intersects the ecliptic. That is the criteria on which nodes their placement gets determined. Just because they hold this much of the power and potential that they can even eclipse the luminaries like sun, which represents consciousness, moon, which represents your mind. So that means even in our personal life they hold this potential to completely cloud our judgment, our consciousness and bring all sort of transformation, all sort of changes in our life. Friends, if you want to understand the role played by Rahu and Ketu, so definitely the placement of Rahu in our chart just tells about the kind of desires, the kind of ambitions, the kind of unfulfilled desires we are going to have in this lifetime. The only one thing which we have to learn with the mere placement of Rahu is that you have to deal with the psychological turmoil, the psychological baggage which Rahu brings with itself. Because beyond doubt, Rahu holds this potential to take you to the peak of your chosen field. Rahu has the potential to give results in a very sudden, in a very intense way. Rahu always works in a very unorthodox way. It is the true outlaw or rebel force in astrology. And along with that, when we talk about the foreign influence, when we talk about doing something completely out of the box, very innovative, so all these areas are connected with Rahu. But the only problem here is that when it comes down to understanding the fears, phobias created by Rahu, so the approach which all the psychics always recommend is that rather than getting overwhelmed by the illusion, you can actually tame the forces or the energies of Rahu with discipline. Friends, you have to understand this thing, that when we talk about the co-rulership of Rahu and Ketu with the signs, so Rahu co-rules the Aquarius sign along with Saturn. So that means the principles of Saturn we need to inculcate in order to get the best out of the Rahu energies. Saturn, which in its essence means discipline only. So unless and until you will not work in the direction of disciplining your thoughts, your mind, because all the fears or the phobias generated by Rahu are completely and always irrational without any basis to that. So rather than chasing those illusions, getting overwhelmed by those like illusionary thoughts, like compromising on your relationship, on your priorities, it is better that the moment you will start living your life on the principle of Saturn, of discipline, you can fairly control the energies of Rahu. So Rahu in this karmic excess could be understood in a way that Rahu represents all of our desires, which is going to entangle us in this whole melodrama of life or the journey of soul in this lifetime. Now shifting our attention to Ketu. So friends, like the way Ketu co-rules the Pisces sign along with Jupiter, so you could understood in a way that the energies of Ketu could only be tamed or controlled with compassion, with wisdom, which Jupiter represents. Because Ketu is a strongly detaching force. Ketu is a like the whole mythological story of the creation of Rahu and Ketu is that there was a demon named Swarbhanu which wanted to attain the status and the stature of a planet. So the whole story went in a way that at the end the Swarbhanu's head was decapitated by Lord Vishnu with the Sudarshan Chakra. So the head part, intellectual, the calculative, the strategist part became the Rahu, and the rest of the body without the head part became the Ketu. So Ketu has many times been depicted with a star on its head portion and only with the body. So that means whatever Ketu does, it only does with its heart. When we talk about that, Ketu is definitely a force which has got all the information of our past lifetimes. Ketu can be seen and considered as the eldest force amongst all the planets. It is the Jyesht planet, the eldest planet amongst all the planetary vibrations, all the planetary forces. Friends, when we talk about all those kind of events, like because of a asteroid or any sort of astral collision, the life got completely removed from a particular planet. So all those kind of sudden catastrophic events are connected with Ketu. Ketu can be seen and can be connected with all these psychics, all the people who have clairvoyant energies. The only thing which pertaining to our today's discussion, which is important to understand here, is that Ketu has got this rejecting qualities and tendencies, because Ketu just wants you to connect with your purest of perfection, and in order to attain or give you that state of perfection, that state of purity, that sort of spiritual and spirit connection, it will not even hesitate in bringing all sort of chaotic rejection or separation in any area of your life. So the only underlying principle which need to be inculcated in this lifetime is that you have to shower love in the area where Ketu is going to be placed in your chart. You have to accept whatsoever you are going to be blessed in that particular area of your life. you can even look at it as the blessings and the grace of the god, like the way we say the sacrosanct or the prasad from your Ishta Devta, from the gods, in the area where Ketu is going to be placed in your chart. Because unless and until you will not look at or see that area of your life where Ketu is going to be present in your chart with complete devotion, with complete and utter respect and reverence, you will not be able to accept the kind of shortcomings, the kind of separative tendencies which you will face or you will undergo in the area where Ketu is going to be present in your chart. So that is something, friends, which I wanted to tell you as a brief overview or idea about the general signification of Rahu and Ketu. Definitely the gist of this introduction is that Rahu is a externalizing force which somehow try to fulfill all of his unfulfilled desires from past lifetimes in the form of its placement in your chart, where it is going to take you, encourage you, motivate you, fulfill all your wishes in that area of your life. When we talk about opposite to it, where Ketu sits, now just because Ketu has got all the information of your past lifetimes, which is a strongly spiritual renunciating energy or force, which has only got your best spiritual potential in its agenda, in its priority. The only way via which you can tame or conquer the energies of Ketu is that by wisdom, by surrender and by compassion. So friends, so far we understood and learnt that Rahu and Ketu can be seen as that beads of a necklace which connects us with all of our past life karma, past life deeds and our future desires and ambitions in this lifetime. Now further moving ahead, now we will try to understand that if we will find Rahu and Ketu's axis in different houses of your chart, so what kind of soul lesson it is encouraging you to fulfill or inculcate. So friends, to begin with, if you will find Rahu to be present in the first house or in the ascendant and Ketu to be present in the 7th house. So friends, there couldn't be any better placement for Rahu other than being placed in the first house, because there couldn't be any other planet who wants as much of fame, attention, power. So from Rahu's perspective, this first house placement can still be seen as good. But if we will try to look at from Ketu's perspective, so 7th house placement for Ketu is still sensitive, because 7th house is about our commercial activities, about our marriage, about how we deal with public. So all sort of materialistic dealings can be associated with the 7th house, which is completely in contradiction with the innate reclusiveness, introspective planet, someone like Ketu. So the lesson or the soul lesson or the learning which can be derived with this axis placement of Rahu and Ketu is that your actions should not be always completely self-willed. You should not be living your life completely devoted to very recklessly following all of your desires only, because you have to understand there is no connection or correlation with the fulfillment of desires with the innate nectar of true happiness and contentment. And these qualities are definitely going to accentuate if in your chart your Rahu Ketu axis is also getting involved with any of the Luna energy or Luna influence. So the lesson or the learning which can be attained specifically from the Rahu's perspective with this placement is that, friends, you have to understand this thing that no matter what your ascendant is, somehow in the original Kalpurush Kundli, the 10th house of our karma and 11th house of our gain is always associated and reserved with the planet Saturn, a planet which in its essence represents discipline and humanitarian work. And Rahu, the way Rahu work, the way Rahu function is akin and equivalent to the Saturnian fashion. So because of which, rather than remaining very self-absorbed, remaining very narcissistic, if you will also share your token of accomplishments, achievement for the well-being and goodwill of the society, so that can definitely accentuate and raise your public image and could actually give you fulfillment and happiness from all of your achievements. And if you want to understand from the Ketu's perspective, so like the way I have already said this thing, with this placement I have seen so many times where people suffer in relationship. Trust me, I will not be surprised with this particular placement that someone who has got a late marriage or someone who was never contented or satisfied with the marriage. So the only karma or the only learning with this placement is that rather than fighting and battling with your destiny, try to embrace and accept it. Try to rekindle that wisdom which Jupiter is trying to impart in your life, and whatsoever is going to be your dealing in the opposite houses, accept it, and your complete surrender is required in the matters of your 7th house of relationship. That is the only soul lesson which we can attain with this axis of Rahu and Ketu. Moving ahead, friends, now if you will find Rahu to be present in your 2nd house and Ketu to be present in your 8th house. So 2nd house, which is a house of your speech, it is a house of your earning, it is a house of your livelihood, it is the house of your values and your close-knit family members. And Rahu's placement over here is definitely going to give us this insight that true virtues, ethics needs to be inculcated, specifically wheresoever dealing of finances are involved, because if you will completely surrender to the whims of Rahu, to the vices of Rahu, so trust me, this is what Rahu wants, or this is what always remains to be the game plan of Rahu. He just wants to manipulate you and actually push you towards your bad, towards all sort of vices which will definitely take you towards your fall. So with this particular alignment, the learning here is that proper discipline and ethics and virtues needs to be inculcated in financial matters. And the second thing is that even when we talk about you dealing with the family members, because many times I have seen this thing that all those people who have 2nd house Rahu and their financial state tend to remain little bit agitated, little bit vulnerable. So they always play this victim card of blaming everything to other people in their vicinity, in their circle of influence. So that sort of victim mentality needs to be curbed, and at the same time, proper discipline, transparency and ethics needs to be maintained or followed in any sort of financial dealings. Now friends, coming to your 8th house. Trust me, there couldn't be any better placement for Ketu other than the 8th house. 8th house, which is a storehouse of all sort of knowledge, intuition, psychic gifts. We talk about inheritances. And friends, many times people get mistaken, like when they talk about sudden windfall of gain. So everyone says that it's the Rahu only who has got this potential. But trust me, Ketu and the Ketu's strike is so intense that it has got the power to give you the fruits of all of your accumulated karmas from past so many lifetimes in just one strike. Whether if Ketu's energies are working for your good or for your bad, but Ketu's energies are more intense even compared to Rahu. And friends, with this particular alignment, like the way in order to give strength to your Ketu, doing meditation, doing mantra recitation is one thing which everyone is going to recommend you. But someone who has got 8th house present Ketu, trust me, it becomes more important and more potent for your own soul elevation, for the own good and betterment of your soul. Like all those people who tend to remain very intuitive, very gifted, a power of clairvoyance. So all of that can happen if only you will work in the direction of giving strength to your 8th house related Ketu. And this 8th house Ketu has got this potential to even function well, whether on a spiritual plane or whether on the material plane. Moving ahead, friends. Now, if we will find Rahu's placement in the 3rd house and Ketu's placement in the 9th house, so this placement, had we been talking about the general results, could have been seen as one of the best placement, because all the signification of the 3rd house completely resonate and overlap with the innate qualities of Rahu, where there is an overlap of desires, your passion, your willfulness. But the only concern here is that if you actually want to grow and elevate on soul level, on a spiritual level, so first of all your desires needs to be trimmed down to the manner of what is good, what is wrong, how much discipline you have, how much realistic you are, are your actions actually causing harm, whether to you or whether people in your vicinity, in your society? Are you that much driven towards the fulfillment of your desires that you are not even hesitant in taking the wrong path or offending or harming people around you? And the second way to look at this placement is that, friends, it's not like that Rahu only has materialistic knowledge to give or materialistic desires to fulfill. You cannot even overlook this fact that it's the combination of Rahu and Ketu only which also represents Kundalini Shakti as well. The only concern over here is that when Rahu's energies are going downward, it could actually make someone so much overwhelmed and fascinated by the illusions of the world that native might take interest in or fall prey to any sort of intoxicants, any sort of drug addiction. But whenever the Rahu's energies start elevating and going upward, so trust me, all sort of intuition, divine prophetic guidance and epiphanies can also dawn upon an individual's life. Friends, trust me, I was just reading recently about the demise of the founder of McAfee antivirus. So if you will read about this guy, I'm sure you must have already read about him or you must be knowing about him. There was a part of his life when he was very much devoted to yoga as well. He wrote so much on yoga and Ayurveda as well, and his carnal desires and that lifestyle was also always in the news. So you will get a fair idea of if your desires are not going to be properly tamed, properly disciplined, how much haywire your life can go. So with this particular placement, this placement can be seen as a blessing or as a curse. It all comes down to how you're going to utilize the energies of this axis. Now coming to the 9th house placement of the Ketu. So there couldn't be a better placement for Ketu other than the 9th house. And friends, over here is that just because Ketu has got all of the account of our past life karma and deeds. 9th house is the house of our father. It is the house of our ancestors. Whenever we talk about the blessings, or if you actually want to see the blessing or a blessed person, so the best parameter or scale to check that is, first of all, the mentality or the thinking of that person and what kind of parents and family he has got. So what I'm trying to say over here is that when we talk about good thinking, good mind, good parenting, all of those signification can be attached with this placement of Ketu in the 9th house. So all what is required is that with this particular alignment, devoting yourself to the gods, devoting yourself to your Isht Devta or any of your family god and deity can actually bring very wonderful results for you. And one piece of advice which I want to give for someone who has got Ketu in the 9th house is that the soul lesson comes that no matter wheresoever you reach in your life, always respect your father and honor your gurus and any of your family kul devta or devi. Moving ahead, friends, now if you will find your Rahu's placement in the 4th house and Ketu's placement in the 10th house, it is a little bit sensitive placement in this regard that 4th house which represents your deep emotional state. It represents your emotional contentment, happiness, concerns of security and stability, and the placement of Rahu over there, a planet which is always restless, which is always dissatisfied. So this kind of creates a question mark or lot of obstacles it could create in the path of living a life filled with all sort of happiness and contentment. So the soul lesson which comes with this particular placement is that your emotional, your mental health needs to be given priority. Rahu which has got a very secretive nature. So let's say for example, God forbid, if you are going through any sort of domestic problem or even on a emotional mental state, you have got some sort of psychological issues or concern, rather than hiding it on this account that you might get judged in the world, your own emotional, mental health well-being is more important rather than what other people think in the society. So that is the one thing which I want to tell over here. Now friends, if you want to understand the Ketu's placement in the 10th house, so the learning aspect comes with this particular aspect that you might have to deal with very critical, very very like perfectionist kind of bosses or people who hold authority. So with this particular alignment, dealing gracefully with people while fulfilling your duties, your responsibilities, or while dealing the matters of your profession needs to be inculcated, or this is the kind of advice which I want to give for everyone who has got Ketu to be present in the 10th house. I will not be surprised with this particular alignment. Your career might be little bit unconventional, might be little bit unusual. There is a lot of research might be involved over there, and at the same time dealing with very critical, very secretive, very unusual people. So accept, embrace everything rather than always standing and remaining in conflict with it. Moving ahead, friends, now if we will find the axis of Rahu and Ketu in the 5th house and the 11th house. So from the Rahu's perspective in the 5th house, this placement could still be seen as beneficial in this regard, that 5th house which represents your intellectual faculties, and Rahu, which in itself is a significator of thinking out of the box, or it also represents up to an extent intuition as well. So with the Rahu's influence in the 5th house, when we talk about taking interest in any sort of technical fields, when we talk about thinking out of the box, this placement can actually grant and bless the native with some very good results. But the only questionability with this particular alignment over here is that, or the sole lesson which needs to be learnt is that, not all the time rebelling and coming across as outlaw works in your favor, or works or feeds your soul for its betterment, because somehow in the original Kalpurush Kundli, 5th house has got affinity with Sun's Leo energy, which is all about abiding by the law, following the righteousness, and working with honor and pride. And with this particular alignment of Rahu in the 5th house, it is definitely going to make the native little bit unorthodox or little bit rebellious in the mindset. So all those kind of rebelliousness needs to be curbed or needs to be channelized for your own growth, your own betterment, and for the welfare of the society. And friends, now focusing on Ketu's placement in the 11th house. So 11th house, which is the house of your desires, which is the house of your ambitions, and Ketu, which is a very introspective planet, Ketu, which is a very critical planet. So this placement gives us or imparts this wisdom and this soul lesson for all of us, that rather than chasing all the illusion or becoming a jack of all trades, if you are definitely going to work hard, if you are definitely going to focus towards those piercing goals of yours, and you will work hard in that field by keeping your goal in your mind, so some good results can be attained. The only one thing, or the only takeaway or a spiritual lesson of this alignment or this placement of Ketu is that strong discipline, focus, and narrowed critical well-planned vision towards your goals. Moving ahead, friends, now if you want to understand the karmic axis or the soul lesson of Rahu and Ketu's axis placement in the 6th house and the 12th house. So friends, Rahu's placement in the 6th house is going to give us this idea and indication that when we talk about dealing with any sort of competitive situation, you have to follow proper ethics, because whenever Rahu and Ketu have got some alignment or contribution with the 6th house, many times it has been seen that if your actions are questionable, so your own adroitness, your own cleverness comes back and bite you in your back. So it is very important for you to inculcate proper virtues, ethics in any area of your life. Even when we talk about dealing with any sort of competitive situation, you should follow and you should stand with the truth, honor, and righteousness. Otherwise, enemies can overwhelm you. So that is one thing which I want to tell with Rahu's placement in the 6th house. And friends, as your Ketu is going to be present in the 12th house, so this could be seen as one of the best placement for Ketu to be placed in. Ketu, which in itself is a significator of moksha, present in the 12th house of moksha, can actually encourage you towards following a spiritual path. And friends, with this particular alignment, following a proper spiritual and disciplined lifestyle tend to become very important for the native, because if you will not understand the magnitude of importance of this placement, then the pent up nervous energies might start troubling you. Like all those people who, rather than becoming a successful clairvoyant, they start getting bogged down by the voices which they hear or the dreams which they see. So it is very important to understand the value of this alignment which you have got. Doing meditation and completely devoting or surrendering yourself to the divine will can actually bring some very wonderful results. I still remember, friends, there is a very prominent and famous preacher, Kathavachak, from one of the state of India, Maharashtra, and I happened to see his chart. So he had Gemini ascendant, just because he's a preacher. So in the 9th house he has got Jupiter present over there, and the best and the beautiful aspect of that person's chart was that he has got Moon exalted in the 12th house and Ketu was conjunct over there. And I still remember the best kind of blessing which I have ever received in life was from him, that he just told me this thing, that Lord Shiva's grace is actually on me, or Lord Shiva is kind to me. So what could be a better blessing for me? Moving ahead, friends, now if we will find Rahu's placement in the 7th house and Ketu's placement in the ascendant, so this is a little bit sensitive karmic access for the nodes, because you have to understand this thing, that if Rahu is going to be functioning in an afflicted way in the 7th house, it could actually amplify an individual's ego, where native might not even hesitate even in manipulating people in the world for his own advantage. And when we talk about the concerns of public image or narcissistic behavior, that fear is also going to be over there. And many times people also tend to behave little bit promiscuous with this particular alignment. So the sole lesson or the learning which comes with this placement of Rahu in the 7th house over here is that fairness in your public dealing, and second thing is gratefulness for whatsoever you have. And if you want to understand it from Ketu's perspective in the ascendant, so this could be little bit sensitive placement for Ketu, because Ketu, which in itself has got a record of all of your past life actions and deeds. And when we talk about the concerns of health, unusual appearance, or the concerns of disability, so many times with Ketu's placement in the 1st house, many times it gives native either unusual personality or very self-negating personality. So the wisdom and the acceptance should come first with whatsoever you are or the way you are, rather than trying to mold yourself or project yourself towards the liking of the society, of the world. You should accept the way God has made you, because at the end we all are the God's own child only. Moving ahead, friends, now if we will find Rahu's placement in the 8th house and Ketu's placement in the 2nd house, it is a very sensitive, it is a very volatile placement, where all the lessons which this axis wants to teach you needs to be embraced with lot of contemplation. Because to begin with, definitely wheresoever Rahu is going to be placed, Rahu is going to give you innate curiosity, and Rahu is going to encourage you follow that house prospects in order to fulfill your desires and ambitions. And 8th house is not a very easy house, and in its negative aspect it entails lot of secrecy, lot of underhanded activities. So because of which proper discipline needs to be inculcated, and sattvic lifestyle becomes very important with this kind of alignment. The kind of people you are going to surround yourself, and with this alignment, following a spiritual righteous lifestyle becomes very important. This placement holds the potential to give results both in spiritual and materialistic level, but important over here is that how you are going to deal with the challenges or unusuality which comes with the 8th house. So divine refuge, divine surrender is going to actually help you in order to get the best out of Rahu's functioning in your 8th house, because all those people who tend to remain very blessed in research, in any sort of innovative sciences, they definitely get the best out of their Rahu's placement in the 8th house. And friends, if you want to understand Ketu's role in your 2nd house, so Ketu is definitely going to bless you or punish you on the matters of your values, on the matters of your financial state. So whatsoever way Ketu is going to be functioning in your second house, you have to accept it with complete grace and remaining very much respectful and very much devoted towards your family name, towards your ethics and values tend to become very important with this axis, which has got this potential to bring windfall and sudden transformation even in the matters of finances. Moving ahead friends, now if you will find Rahu's placement in the 9th house and Ketu's placement in the 3rd house, it is a sensitive placement in this regard that the essence of Rahu is definitely going to go in contradiction with the signification of the 9th house. So now Rahu, which in itself rebels wheresoever it sits in the chart, so a proper graceful way needs to be abided by even if you want to do things on your own way. Like all those people who tend to go and they get attracted towards the foreign culture or they go against their family norm, so they are among those people who have Rahu to be present in their 9th house. So important over here is that no matter whatsoever your actions are or your driving force are, that should not offend your gurus, your family tradition and values. And friends, like with this particular alignment, this is generally seen as good in this regard that all those people who tend to do good in foreign lands with the support of the foreign people, and they also get rewarded in the form of the support of luck at the same time. But important over here is that whatsoever is going to happen, that might happen with challenging and going against the tide, so that should be done in a graceful way. And friends, if you want to understand the prospects of the 3rd house placed Ketu, so Ketu, which is a medium of giving you the results of all of your past life actions, where proper surrender needs to be developed, that attitude of surrender needs to be inculcated. So 3rd house, which is the house of your skill, 3rd house, which is the house of your prowess, so whatsoever is going to happen over here might have direct connection with your past life. Now some people who tend to remain very lucky or very blessed in any sort of performing arts, or all those people who struggle a lot or get deceived because of the people they trust or people in their neighborhood or their friends, so the karma is definitely going to come hard on the matters of the 3rd house. So a mode of acceptance and divine devotional surrender needs to be inculcated with this axis of Rahu and Ketu. Moving ahead friends, now if you will find Rahu's placement in the 10th house and Ketu's placement in the 4th house, this is seen as one of the best placement for Rahu to be placed in. 10th house is not only your angular house, but it is also a Upachya Bhav as well. So Rahu can actually fulfill all of his ambitions and desires with this particular alignment. When we talk about getting professional success, career related success, and getting the due support of the foreign culture, foreign people, so all those elements are actually going to help and come to natives' aid and support. The only lesson or learning with this alignment over here is that all of your ambitions and desires should be completely tailor-made towards some humanitarian aid as well. Whatsoever you are accomplishing, you should also use that for bringing some reform in the society. And friends, with the Rahu's placement in the 10th house, you have to understand this thing that all of your actions are always going to be in the public's eye, in the public scrutiny. And it is good to be not known rather than known for wrong reasons. So with this particular alignment, proper ethics, virtues needs to be abided by. Otherwise, what you are eyeing for might become a reason for your fall. So there a healthy balance needs to be inculcated. And friends, if you want to understand from Ketu's perspective in the 4th house, so trust me, this can be seen as one of the very good placement where if native is going to devote himself towards his or her outward life, native is going to get good success over there. And even in the domestic life, in the home front, native is definitely going to be encouraged towards going inwards to find the true meaning of the life. So all those people who tend to do good in the path of spirituality, doing yoga, doing meditation, and always in the mode of churning up and finding the true source of happiness. So even from that perspective, this placement can be seen as a very good placement. The soul learning which comes with this alignment over here is that your ambitions should be devoted to the divine. You should see yourself as a medium of the divine grace. Your accomplishment should also be shared with the world via some humanitarian projects, actions. And friends, when we talk about the 4th house Ketu, so it only gives us soul lesson learning in this regard, that any sort of detachment, any sort of lack of nourishment should not make you resentful. Rather than becoming resentful, you should go inward and find the true meaning of life. So that is something which I want to tell you with this karmic axis. Moving ahead, friends. Now if we will find Rahu's placement in the 11th house and Ketu's placement in the 5th house, this can be seen as one of the very good placement, because Rahu's placement in the 11th house could be seen as a very good indicator of getting name, fame, recognition, financial gains. The only concern over here is that no matter what planet represents, for a planet to function in a best efficient way, it has to abide by the principle or the rules laid by the house where it is placed in. And whatsoever happens in the 11th house, that can only happen unless and until you will not become a part of the group or you will not become a part of the collective. So these are the things. Becoming a part of the collective, this approach needs to be inculcated with this particular alignment, and your approach and your attitude should be of helping people rather than exploiting them. And if you want to understand the lesson or the learning of Ketu's placement in the 5th house, so trust me, doing yoga, doing meditation and complete unrelenting devotion, dedication towards your Ishta Devta can actually give you access to all of your past life knowledge, wisdom and learning. And last, friends, if you will find Rahu's placement in the 12th house and Ketu's placement in the 6th house, so friends, this is a little bit sensitive, vulnerable placement in this regard, where the soul lessons comes in this form that you have to be always proactive in the form of going and treading on the unknown path, whatsoever your phobias or your fears are, before taking that first step. So you have to curb all those fears or all those phobias of yours, because in your case Rahu is definitely going to give you success only in those unseen realms or path only. And now coming to the placement of Ketu in the 6th house. So with this particular alignment, your monetary management and the way you deal with your critics and competitors become very important, because otherwise a 6th house strengthened Ketu generally gives very powerful enemies. So all those concerns of frustration in your daily work life, over the top critical attitude while dealing with your juniors, people in your daily work life, needs to be curbed. So friends, your learning of this axis comes in this packaging, that do not be fearful of exploring unseen realm and always inculcate this habit of being welcoming, being loving to the people in your daily work life, no matter how unbearing they are behaving. So this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for this karmic axis of Rahu and Ketu in all the houses. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Thank you.